Hello, thank you very much for joining Swisstech Tokyo 2026 today. Now we will begin the session titled Swisstech at Swisstech Startup Pitch 2026. Swisstech at Swisstech Startup Pitch 2026. Please welcome our speakers.
Thank you very much for joining today. So my name is Felix Mössner. I'm the CEO of Swisstech in Japan, and I really would like to give a little bit of a glimpse on Switzerland. So we are really famous for nice landscapes. We like iconic products. We also push for limits, and everything is somehow connected with these four items. And especially proud I'm education. Because as you see the next ranking, so here on this ranking, since 15 years we are really #1 in the world for innovation. But it has really to do a lot with the education part that produces R&D, innovation, and with it high tech. So I also would like to say a few words when we look at compare with other patent delivers. So we also do a lot in the world in the area of patents, especially when you look in this regard. We also how to say we from the patents we do not stop. We usually develop the patents into startups. And here's one example that we really started more than 35 years ago to push startups from the universities. This is also very nice shown here. So this is in Europe, where you see how many of the startups are monetized. And you see very nicely on top, we have 2 Swiss universities that are extremely active in this field. One very recent example is just last year we had one startup, only 6 years old, was bought by a Japanese pharmaceutical company for $1.2 billion US, so automatically became a unicorn. Yeah, we also have programs supporting startups to come to Japan, and we are extremely proud because when we ask the startups, where do you want to go? #1 is US, #2 Germany, and already #3 is Japan. So Swiss startups really would like to come to Japan. We also have other programs which we support, and also one of the largest is of the world, an accelerator program is also in Switzerland, and also with this we really like to collaborate and also support. So also in this regard, I would like to say a few words what we are doing. We have been announced exactly 3 years ago, and we had 2.5 years ago we were able to open. So we are extremely young entity in Japan and the first science consulate in Japan. We work on universities, startups, and art science. Please come and visit. So we are located at Mito-Suchi, which is the Champs-Élysées, so the 5th Avenue in Osaka. And also what we do is we really nurture the network. So we engage with all the companies around. And also since the beginning we supported 195 startups with a wish to come to Japan. Yeah, so we did last year very active during the expo year. We did a lot of pitches, and also again our focus areas are startups, aging, sustainability, this regard. Quick note, last year we also had the expo. In the expo, exactly 1 year ago we had the opening, so you see the Swiss pavilion in the back. We were working in 3 areas, so robots, AI, life and planet. And here, this is what we exhibited at the pavilion. It was extremely successful, and many visitors coming around. So yeah, also the expo closed half a year ago, and please connect with us. So this is the highly motivating team at Swisstech, so please come to us, and thank you very much. So now we proceed with our next speaker, Actao. Cecile, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Felix. No, it's okay.
Okay.
So, very happy to tell you about Actao. We are bringing a revolution in education in cybersecurity. we have developed a platform in gaming, and it's immersive and adaptive and interactive. So we are bringing life to all this kind of program. We are targeting next gens, employees of large organization and senior. We are right now in a pilot with government and major foundation as well as academics. We are going to release the solution at the end of the year, and we are looking for partners in Japan with who we could develop as well some of the scenarios which will be more adapted to Japan. So today, Actao is with his partners doing some turnover. So we have about 1 million turnover in Switzerland just with pilots. It's a highly rewarded solution, and we receive quite interesting we had from the government, but also from private sector, very interesting traction. And right now, our aim is to be able to bring this as fast as possible. So we are looking to do that with our partners, but as well with tests and new campaign. So we wish to show you the video. Come to our booth, and I will be able to give you all the details, because this is brand new, coming this week with the new demo live. Thank you very much. I didn't bring it. Oh, sorry.
You have the clicker.
Yes, that's me.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeyran Hezaveh. I'm co-founder, CEO of Avatronics, and we are a noise cancellation company. When I say noise cancellation, a lot of you own headphones with good noise cancellation as far as you have tested. But what started the entire journey for us, if I can click it, was this problem. Why no headphone on an airplane can cancel a baby's cry? Turns out it's not as easy, as simple as it sounds. It takes a lot of effort to make something as good for especially a battery-operated device. And we are able to do this using edge AI and signal processing just with software upgrades. So if we are received any headphone from a customer, we can turn it into a really powerful device. We started from headphones naturally, and today our technology applies to many different devices. Basically, any device with a microphone can benefit from some sort of denoising. On hearable side, which is everything and anything that goes on your ears, we cover headphones, hearing aid, hearing glasses that you can use for online translation at the same time, hearing protection, hearing aid, and even military headset. So these are the ones that will protect your ear, cancel the noise for you, enable you to use for the calls and everything else. Microphone denoising is very simple. Something like, if you're using your mobile phone for calls, you have some recording devices that you want to do edge AI denoising. It's something that we do as well. The last one is a little bit different. This is in-seat noise cancellation for cars, airplanes, and trains. You can have speakers in the headrest without any headphone, make it quieter. Technology is embedded software. It's already being licensed to a lot of different players in the market, and devices with our technology will be available before the end of this year. And on average, it makes anything 10 times quieter without adding any hardware to the system. These are some of the examples of what we do, current customers that we are active in. Naturally, we have a lot of customers in headphone, including a helicopter headset. We have licensed the technology to some of the biggest players in semiconductors. So there are ICs for different audio cases that are integrating our product. We have done a very powerful smart hearing protection for mining. This is the type that cancels the noise, but in the same time allows you to talk to people in front of you without any radio. We have activity in the hearing aid sector. With the same device, normal-looking earbud, you can have really good noise cancellation, speech enhancement, as well as hearing compensation for hearing loss. Last but not least, including some Japanese players in the seats of the cars, airplanes, and trains, we are integrating our technology at the moment. That concludes my presentation. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, so that confuses the system. Okay. All right. Hello. Hello. So I'm Colin Mason. I'm representing BeEmotion.ai. We are a Swiss company. Our business, as you can see from the B emotion, that's behavior with emotion on top of it. And what this is about is human behavioral analytics. In other words, it's to help machines understand people. In other words, empowering machines to understand humans. And so much, it's basically visual communication. If you think that 60, 70% or more of communication is actually visual and not the words, and when you have machines interacting with people, we need the machines to better understand in order to serve better. So our use cases range from robotics, and I'll drop by the stand. I actually have a small companion robot from Panasonic called Nikobo that we're built into, and you can see. AeroMind is used in aviation training, obviously in the automobile sector, both for driver monitoring and passenger comfort. And PainCheck is a customer who uses our technology to implement pain measurement for non-communicative patients such as dementia and Alzheimer patients. We also have applications in the security space, in fintech for KYC systems, and various other systems in retail and so on. So the core tech stack, I won't go through this now, but if you drop by, I can explain. Basically, we detect and we observe, and then with our customers, we build the reasoning models to deliver applications. And as I said, Nikobo is one application. This is a companion robot, particularly for the elderly living alone, targeting the loneliness problem, although actually it applies across many age groups. And then there's AeroMind as an example, and I'd just like to show you a short video. But it's capturing data on pilots in the cockpit, in the simulator cockpit, that is, and then analyzing them and providing stress level data to help them understand as a self-learning, adult learning experience through the mirror effect to improve their performance. So this is targeted students, instructors, and the flight training departments. And this video should start.
In simulator training, instructors observe what pilots do. But understanding why pilots react the way they do under pressure is much harder. This is where AeroMind from BeEmotion AI comes in. AeroMind is a data-driven AI adult learning tool designed for flight simulator training. It introduces human behavioral analytics into the simulator. Using AI, AeroMind analyzes facial emotion indicators and body pose behavior during training scenarios. This allows significant behavioral events to be identified during the session. These insights support instructors during the debrief process, helping them analyze pilot performance and decision-making. AeroMind does not replace instructor judgment. It simply provides additional behavioral insight to support it. Pilots can also review their own behavioral responses. This creates the mirror effect in adult learning, encouraging deeper self-reflection after the session. AeroMind helps turn evidence-based training into a measurable science, supporting instructors, enhancing pilot learning.
So there you go, bringing objective measurement to a subjective subject. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Nagib, I'm the CEO of Dirk. I'm glad to be there today to introduce my company. So Dirk is one of the companies in Switzerland dedicated for cybersecurity. We aim to protect the highly sensitive data for large customers. What we do is really to protect data when it's processed. Most of the time, most of the customers, they have data security in the cloud with SSL. They encrypt database, they encrypt cloud database, but when data is processed, this is where it is exposed. At most of the time, this is where the hackers succeed to exfiltrate data from the cloud. So at Dirk, we have developed two technologies. One is called MPC, multi-party computations. What is it? Multi-party computation aims to divide the keys in several shares where you don't have the key in one place. So that means hackers want to access the key, it does not exist at all. FHE is FHE fully homomorphic encryptions. It's a kind of new generation of encryption system. Here, when data is processed, it's not even clear text, it's encrypted. That means you'd never see the data you process. That means that when data is hacked, hackers get encrypted data. So the two technologies here, the one here, is MPC, the key is divided in 3 pieces. Like 3 keys, but they reside in 3 different places. FHE is different. FHE, you send data encrypted, and data is processed fully encrypted. And this is really new technology. So we work with major companies for cloud, Amazon, Google, AWS, ServiceNow. They always integrate with us. And we embed the technology of FHE because you need power or accelerations. So we embed this technology in chips, in silicons, called Trust Core. FHE really is a new generation of encryption where data is never seen in clear text. That means it's very difficult to hack. For example, in this example, we process medical record. It's a CT scan of your here. The data is sent encrypted in the cloud, processed encrypted, and you get the result. Here you have the clear text. This is the clear text process. And here is the encrypted process, really close result. It's not 100%, but it's 96, 97% accurate. That means technology is viable for large case. So we address 2 different cases, cloud services, security as a services, and AI, confidential AI. We have a roadmap in terms of our revenue. We reached last year $4 million US. We are reaching now for 26, 27, 40, 15 million. And we project 100 million with large adoption of customers with Trust Core technology. We also active in post-quantum. I'm sure you heard about post-quantum day. This is the day where every encryption system will be broken by a quantum computer. Dirk is active already to proceed with post-quantum cryptography. The team is very strong. We all have historical past and exit with several companies. Myself, I have worked on the crypto bank in Switzerland. Pascal Junot, cryptography research, he exited his company to Snapchat 3 years ago. And Jean-Luc is our scientific director. He was here in Japan 10 years ago at Tsukuba University. We work with really large customers. They adopt our technology for large use case in automotive, in luxury market, in healthcare, in financial services. Last year, we won the best growing startup in Europe in Cyber Forum because we have seen an acceleration of adoption of our tech. All hyperscalers, they love our tech because they give customers full privacy, and this is also what they are selling to their customers. I'm glad, and thank you for the presentation.
Konnichiwa. It's great to be back in Tokyo again. I used to live here 5 years ago. At the time, I was working for PwC, Deloitte, and EY, and it's very nice to come back. And today I'm representing ESG Explorer, a startup in performance management with a focus on sustainability. And during that time, one thing I learned is that companies have become quite good at counting problems, but unfortunately they're not so good at solving them. And I think that's especially true in sustainability. The problem is not a lack of data, it's more that the data is in too many different places and very difficult to manage and aggregate when you need it. Also, you have silo teams. You have one team that works in operations, you have another team that works in ESG, but they're not really working together. And that makes it very difficult to make optimal decisions, and the trade-offs between cost and lead time and CO2 are invisible, so very difficult to move from visibility to action. So that's why we built ESG Explorer differently. Most companies have some sort of ERP system, and then they need to report data for ESG reporting. And some of them have process visibility and monitoring. So think about like a Power BI. But what they're lacking is having the right data at the decision level, when they really need it, when they make a purchase. And that's what we provide. So we give them the data when they really need it. And we use AI to do that, because otherwise you would not have the CO2 data when you need it, because we do AI matching between company data and certified ESG emission factors. So traditional tools focus very much on reporting compliance at an aggregated level and after the fact, while our data is real time. So we create a digital twin, and with that we can track everything at the activity level, which is really what's driving the cost and the CO2 to provide the data to make decisions. So this is an example from our platform looking at transportation. So the first part here, this is what some companies already have. You can identify the CO2 hotspots. But then up there, we also look at the trade-offs between the CO2, the cost, and the lead time, as I explained before. And with that, we can make recommendations on how to achieve improvements. And our solution is for manufacturing companies, retail companies, and so on. And yeah, we have other solutions for materials and also for energy management and production. These are the companies we currently have. They're all based in Europe, and we hope to expand to Japan. And this is our team. We are all here today. You can find us at the Swiss Pavilion. And we really believe that sustainability management has to become of daily operations to be successful. And we're here looking for customers and investors. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Hermes. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Jaipur Robotics. We're a Techstars alumnus, and we develop deep learning software for waste identification. More specifically, we develop computer vision and robotics for the following sectors: waste to energy, cement, biomass, metal, and mining. And here, the common denominator is that you have hundreds of tons of waste a day processed by these facilities. And in the waste, you find a number of contaminants that create disruption for the operations of these plants. So typically concrete blocks, lithium batteries, gas bottles, a number of contaminants that cause downtime. And this is mostly because these processes are manually operated, so there is still a person looking at the process, and definitely this leads to inefficiencies of the overall plant management. Just an example, last year a plant in the Netherlands lost 65 million euros because of explosions of gas bottles. So it's a very relevant and cost-heavy problems for the industry. And the market we are looking is rather large. And what we do in order to tackle that market is to identify these contaminants, identify waste at different stages of the plant. What we are building is really the intelligence layer that sits on top the thermomechanical processes of such facilities. So we do analysis on the track, we do analysis in the bunker where the material is dumped, and also we automate the full process, bringing our material understanding and material intelligence up to the crane. And we do that by installing camera systems that are able to retrieve the information we need that is then provided to the crane operator or to the crane itself in an automatic mode. These are just some of the examples of contaminants that we have found in these plants. And we cover different clients all across Europe and are now entering the Japanese market. I'm a robotic engineer. My co-founder and CTO is a PhD also in computer science. And we have several research programs with universities in Switzerland, Europe, and US. We are currently raising 4 million Swiss francs. The round is oversubscribed. This is our seed stage. And we're looking for opportunities to connect with Japanese investors and also with stakeholders, clients in Japan to extend our operations. So if you're looking for turning your trash into cash, please reach out. Thank you.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Alberto. I'm the CEO of Kaido Dynamics. We focus on location intelligence, what means that if in your business you need to know everything about a particular location, we provide with all this data. What's the problem today with location analytics? There are many data sources. They are independent. You have to put them together. You have to make sense of it with specialists, with data scientists. And you can use artificial intelligence, that's fair. But you need the raw data. You need the ground truth in order to make sense of all this data. That's basically what we are doing. We are taking all this data together, several layers of data. In one hand, we have mobility that comes from cell phones. We work with mobile operators in order to have the data of the activity of the antennas. So that we can infer how many people is in a particular location and how many people is moving from one point to another. Everything is aggregated, everything is anonymized, it's private by design. We also cross it with other sources of data, like the use of credit cards. We work with MasterCard in order to understand how people spend in a particular location, on what and how much. We also have connected cards and geoinformation systems in general for making sense of all this data. We have several use cases, mostly tourism. As you know, here in Japan, it's a problem, and many people is discussing that probably tourism is getting over-touristic, no? It's getting overcrowded. In order to solve that, you need to measure and you need to understand how many people is actually in every location, right? This is what we do for several cities like Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Madrid, Ibiza, Balearic Island. We provide the data of all these nationalities and where they concentrate so that they can define smarter strategies. We also have mobility. If we know how the people is moving, you can improve the public transportation, the buses, the trains, the highways. We also have retail, malls, how many people is going to the mall, how many people is going to the competitor's mall, so that they can improve their numbers, and marketing. We know the audiences. If you are in the road and there is a panel of publicity, we can tell how many people is exposed to this publicity, right? We have some of these cases. As I was saying, we are in Brazil with Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo, where they are using our data for improving their strategy for tourism. We are in all Latin America and some countries in Europe, Middle East, and we want to expand here in Japan, offering this solution, this same solution for tourism, but also for mobility. Uber is using our data to understand their market share. We have Klépierre, that is one big chain of malls, that they are using the data in order to understand who is the public of these malls, where they can open new malls. And JCDecaux, that is an international company, that they are also here in Japan for publicity and outdoor marketing, right? So as I was saying, we are expecting to deploy here in Japan. I'm here in order to make partnerships, to find business partners and distributors that help us to integrate our system in the country. So we are also raising money in a Series A. We expect to raise 5 million. So if you know any investor in Japan, please let me know. That I will be very interested to talk with them. Thank you very much.
This is like for the next, yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Andrada. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Novovis. So we are a fabless semiconductor company. We are doing hardware imaging sensors. And the goal is actually to offer like access to this cutting edge technology in various industries. So the problem is that actually imaging sensors, cameras that are based on legacy sensors are not performing very well in harsh conditions. Well, sorry. In harsh conditions through fog, through haze, for inspection, for monitoring, and that doesn't work very well. And you need to have a lot of visibility in the dark and capture every light particle. And you can do this with a technology which is called SPAD. So it's a photodiode actually that can capture every light particle. You can time it with with a lot of precision, and then you have everything in a single sensor. You don't have to use overcomplicated optics or electronics for this. In the past, these cameras used to be scientific mostly, and you have here an image on the left side. The left board is something that I developed during my studies, and it's actually super expensive, costs around 60 to 70K USD dollars. And our innovation stands in actually taking all these extra electronics and moving it in silicon. So then we moved all of that into the camera. The camera that I'm holding in my hand is like just 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 centimeters cube. And the way we do it, basically, we move the computer in silicon. So by transferring all these extra electronics and expensive boards into the silicon, we reduce the system cost by 20 times. So we have various products on the market, first generation, second generation. We actually launched in 2020, end of 2024, beginning of 2025. We don't have only cameras, we have point detectors, we have line sensors, so basically different types of configurations based on this technology. And you have access also to the sensor chip itself, not only the plug-and-play solution. As I said, the second generation we launched in January 2026, and it's a larger format camera. We go beyond the visible range. So what I presented before is just the visible range, and now we have photodetectors that are sensitive in shortwave infrared. It's not based on CMOS technology. It's based on a different type of technology. It's called indium gallium arsenide, and you have a sensitivity up to 1.7 micrometers. We actually been supported by the Swiss ecosystem since 2023 all the way now. So this is actually how we came up with all these sensors on the market. And yeah, as an icebreaker, this technology, maybe you will ask me where it can be used. It can be used in various sectors. It's actually a sensing platform. You can use it in defense, in space, machine vision, inspection, monitoring. So in the end, you are using it wherever you need to capture light in dark and time, and get it with very good precision and get very fast phenomena. And then we launched this detector to space in March 2025. It was the first time when this technology reached outer space. And yes, we proved the robustness and the reliability of this technology. So if it works in space and pass vacuum, vibration, radiation, and everything, for sure it works here on Earth. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm David, I'm the head of product at Rare 20, and we're dealing with floods. Well, what's the problem? It's raining again, I believe. And the question is, what happens when it rains so much that you actually have an issue on the ground, right? And what you often get from a government is something like this, a large warning area that really tells you absolutely nothing except that you might be affected. You have no clue what that means for your business, for your car, for your building. The main problem behind that is a computational bottleneck. It's called computational fluid dynamics. It's very, very good at calculating flooding, but it's extremely complex to set up, very, very slow, and it's very slow on a supercomputer. So you have to pay for all of this while it's calculating, ending up being very, very expensive. That's what we've addressed. We, in short, managed to teach CFD, computational fluid dynamics, to an AI system. And with this, we're now incredibly quick in calculating these very complicated phenomena on very, very cheap machines. So it's easy to set up, it's fast, and it doesn't cost too much. What goes into this? Well, it's actually fairly simple. At the least, you need a topography data set, you need a land cover data set. Usually we deliver this. And then our partners are weather forecasting companies. So they deliver the weather forecast, usually a very good local weather forecast, and then run it through deep water, that's the name of our engine, to get flood out. Now, I want to guide you through an actual use case to make this a bit more tangible. This was in Australia. We're live in Australia, across all of Australia, with a partner there, and they were hit by a hurricane, by a typhoon last spring. What happened there is that always around midnight, they get a forecast for the next 24 hours in terms of wind and rain. So here's the rain forecast for the next 24 hours. And then we run this through deep water. And within about a minute, we have all of Greater Brisbane calculated to understand where exactly it's going to hit. And this is very important here. This is on a street and property level, right? So you know then, whether, for example, if you're in this road here, to please move your car. But what's even more important is we don't just tell you where you're going to be hit, we can tell you when you're going to be hit. So it's a fully dynamic system that can calculate minute by minute how flooding is going to evolve. So you can be aware and prepared before it hits. This system works globally. So as long as you have the topography, you can run it in Japan or wherever else you want. So we're now here to see if there's an appetite in the market. Obviously, Japan is heavily flood hit. So we believe there's great potential and looking now for partners. So if you're interested in this, please come and talk to me. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paulo Reffineti. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of REM Analytics. So, at REM Analytics, we develop tests for the microbiome. And we use these tests to deliver personalized medicine. And today, you can all come up to our booth. We are unveiling our new concept in personalized medicine called Elements of Health, which basically uses the fact that microbiomes are different between people to deliver personalized nutrition based on your needs. How do we do that? Well, we design tests using our design platform, which goes into our own instruments, and using it, we have built a portfolio of tests from women health to gut microbiome, and we're now including many other things. This is one of our products. We're not showcasing it here today. It is a woman health solution that allows you to collect a vaginal microbiome swab, receive a personalized report that provides the key information that is needed to then choose the best probiotic. And those we integrate into a single package. And again, our new product is the same concept, but for mental health and physical performance, and you can go and see it upstairs. Why does it work? What makes our test and our solution different from what everyone else has tried? Except for the fact that it actually does work. The reason is because we measure very few essential microbes from the set of all of those that are possible. And because we only measure few, but we measure the really important ones, we've been able to demonstrate that we can, for example, predict autism as early as 3 months, or predict the success rate of in vitro fertilization. From there on, we're now expanding to other applications, which include fermentation and agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We appreciate your session. Everyone, we hope you enjoyed the session. And now we would also appreciate it if you could access the QR code